Hi, welcome to the F1 Time Portal, a Formula One history podcast started by two Formula One mood rings. I'm your host, Rosa.
And I'm your It's Only Rock and Roll But I Like It host, Luigi. And today we're taking you back to the 1974 season, part 6 and final. So let's go. So mood rings were 74. There you go.
Yep. I think this season is a mood. It's a very definite mood.
Yes.
Very up there around, I don't know what to say. It's just very moody.
And this season is very rock and roll too, because there's so much going on and we've got like a 4-way driver championship with two races to go. So 4 different drivers can take it.
Well, you actually say, Louis, in the lead up, in the first line of the Canadian Grand Prix, you say that there are 5 drivers.
I guess there are 5 that can win it. I guess Peterson can do it. 18, 38, 48. He can just do it.
Just if the other drivers don't get any points, which is highly unlikely.
Yeah, still 5. That's pretty amazing. Yeah.
I know. Let's wrap this baby up.
Okay. So there was a lot of attention to the 2 US teams that were making their debut to this race was Parnelli and Penske. So Parnelli was driven by none other than Mario Andretti, who has been Formula One for 2 years for Ferrari, while Penske was driven by Mark Donohue, he came out of retirement. He was in his late 30s, especially for this race.
As we said, Penske was a big name in motorsport, especially now in 2025. But this was amazingly the first car ever built by the Penske organisation for a brand synonymous with US racing. F1 was their debut, Louis.
I know. Isn't that amazing?
So, that is amazing.
I thought it was a US brand, but it's not.
Yeah,
I mean, it is primarily, but yeah.
It is. But yeah, they debuted in F1. So as practice started, the target, as is normally the case, was to beat the 1973 pole time set by Peterson.
Yeah, and we've heard this many times because Peterson got like 9 poles out of 15 in 1973, so he did set the standard.
Yeah. So the track was partly resurfaced and it caused it to be a lot slipperier than normal. And while the resurfacing removed a lot of the bumps, the nature of the tyres being a bit more slippery themselves, the drivers found it hard to find good speed on this track. But despite all of this, we had the latest trend of Ferrari and Brabham setting the fastest times on day one.
Yeah, and as practice evolved, slowly Scheckter in the Tyrrell and Fittipaldi in the McLaren moved into the picture and they were finding their groove as well.
Yeah, they were probably eager to break the Ferrari and Brabham stranglehold that had taken place.
Yeah. So this has proven to be the case. As the final session started, there was a threat of rain and many drivers were desperate to use every inch of the track, including curbs, to sharpen their time. That's quite standard nowadays in 20s.
Yes.
And in the words of Mike Lang, the pole recap, suddenly towards the end of practice, the Brazilian Fittipaldi really stirred things up by pulling out all stops and whistling around in 1 minute 13.188 seconds.
Oh, whistling. That's the first time I've heard that term referred to.
Yeah, I like that term. It implies really fast. Yeah.
Yes, it does. You can hear the whistle of it going around. Yes. So during the rest of practice, a light rain set in, and that was that. Fittipaldi, against trend, secured the pole position. Lauda second, Scheckter third, Reutemann fourth, and Jarier fifth.
So we're back to that old story. 5 different teams in the first 5 positions. And the other championship contenders, Regazzoni was 6th and Peterson was 10th.
Okay, so that we can rule Peterson out. Yeah.
Yeah, you never know, but yeah, he needs everyone to score 0. So to the race start, when the Canadian flag fell, the 2 Ferrari drivers charged away.
Jump start?
It's not allowed in Canada, right?
Not allowed. Yeah, no. Okay.
I don't think there's a Canadian driver that's allowed to have a free jump start.
No. Okay.
Yeah. So Lauda took an immediate lead with Fittipaldi in second and Regazzoni slotting into third place, followed by Scheckter.
So that's the 4 championship contenders right there, Louis, in the top 4 positions. Not in the right order, but wow. So the first couple of laps were a crocodile line of racing cars. On the third lap, Scheckter, seeing that Lauda and Fittipaldi were starting to pull away, passed Regazzoni for third And then he found that it was difficult to keep up with Lauda and Fittipaldi. And by lap 10, Scheckter was 5 seconds behind the leading pair.
Wow. I mean, Lauda and Fittipaldi are in a league of their own, aren't they?
Must have been.
Yeah. Scheckter himself had pulled out 5 seconds ahead of Regazzoni, which showed that he was himself pushing very hard. So for the first 20 laps, Lauda was keeping Fittipaldi at bay, keeping the McLaren back by about 2 seconds. And then by lap 40, which is the halfway mark, which shows not much else happened, his lead had stretched to 5 seconds suddenly.
Louis, you've written here Lauda has this in the bag. That's a very dangerous statement to be making. This is lap 40 out of how many laps are we going around here?
This is an 80-lap race. So halfway, he's got it in the bag. You can lock it in, Rosa. It's not too early, is it?
Oh, I don't know. He had Monza in the bag. So look what happened there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at this time, Scheckter was 20 seconds behind Fittipaldi. While there was not a great deal of wheel-to-wheel drama, on lap 49, Scheckter had a brake failure and he crashed into a guardrail, wrecking the car. But luckily, Scheckter walked away unscathed.
Okay. But he's probably out of the championship, I'm guessing. There was further drama further back with a whole gaggle of other drivers. Beltoise had 4 pit stops in the BRM, but we are mainly focusing on the championship contenders. So if you want to know about the mid and back end teams, you can go and read it up yourself.
Yeah, because this is one of the most dynamic championships of all time, to be honest. So most of the attention turned to the fast charging Peterson, who after his poor qualifying by his standards was now on a charge. By lap 60, he passed Hunt in the Hesketh to claim 4th, but he was not content with this and he started to chase down Regazzoni in the Ferrari.
Like, what is Regazzoni doing? He's the championship leader. He has to start pushing. So Regazzoni was looking under threat at this stage, and it was nothing compared to what was coming for Lauda, because on lap 68, Lauda came across scattered debris and stones on the track due to an earlier, as we said, there was lots of incidents with the back markers. So Watson had gone off track and Lauda skated off the track and struck into the barriers, damaging his car and causing him to retire on the spot. See, what? I told you, Louis. I told you.
Yeah, but at least it wasn't a car breakdown. At least it was and normally Lauda's really good at picking this stuff up. So, Watson, this is your fault. So Fittipaldi went through the same area unscathed and cruised to an easy victory by 13 seconds. Yeah.
Did Lauda clean up the track for Fittipaldi? Like he took all the debris with him by driving through it?
I think so.
I'm trying to work out, was Lauda unlucky or was Fittipaldi lucky? Or was Fittipaldi better at reading the situation and he avoided it?
Yeah,
was Lauda going off as a warning to Fittipaldi to take care? That's not going to be happening.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Well, while these answers are not forthcoming in our research, we can only theorise, I guess. Given that this was an era of no pit radio, you'd have to think there was a bit of a luckiness thing here, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Fittipaldi saw Lauda go off and no doubt lifted or drove with some extra caution to determine if he was at risk. So that's just my guess. And he had a little bit of time in hand with the driver behind, so why not? So I'm sure there's some truth. What do you think, Rosa?
Yeah, I'm thinking it is lucky I actually think it's both. I think it's unlucky for Lauda and lucky for Fittipaldi. You're right. He probably saw him go off and then he kind of went around or slowed down a little bit so he didn't pick up any punctures Anyway,
that's life.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was more Regazzoni that I was concerned about. So the battle for second place was Regazzoni holding off Peterson. He was using every trick in the book, including lapping Donoghue a second time on the last lap to put another car between himself and the fast charging Peterson. So yeah, that was good. That was smart racing by Regazzoni.
Yeah, and he held him off by about 1.5 seconds. So it's pretty impressive.
That's good.
Yeah, yep. And so Hunt secured 4th and Depay 5th. And look, Holm getting 6th place again.
Oh, he's so consistent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Louis, you'll never guess, but the Drivers' Championship standings now has Fittipaldi and Regazzoni on equal points, 52 points. Scheckter on 45, still can win it. Lauda on 38,
Yeah.
probably can't win it, maybe can win it.
No, he can't win it. He's out.
Nah, he can't win it. So,
Yeah.
and then Peterson on 35, which we knew he wasn't going to win it. So it's really Fittipaldi, Regazzoni and Scheckter.
Scheckter, the outsider. Scheckter has to score the
Outsider.
win
Yeah.
and hope the other two score no better than fifth
Nothing.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing or fifth. So pretty special time in Formula One history, isn't it? Because this only happens set 2 times in Formula One history. Does it happen more than 2 times? It happens obviously 74 and it happens again in 2021.
Right.
So we're not going to
yes.
talk about the 21 race.
No.
We're talking about
no.
the 74 race. But it's a big moment in Formula One history.
Yes. Yeah. And on the constructor side, we've got McLaren on 70, Ferrari on 65. So they can still win that too. Tyrrell on 51.
Yeah. Okay. We get to the final race. Race 15 of 15, the United States Grand Prix at Watkins Glen. It's on the 6th of October, 59 laps, and the weather is warm and sunny. So not only was this a huge championship decider, but funnily enough, this is the 250th F1 World Championship race.
So that means we have covered 250 races, Louis.
Nearly. In about 5 minutes,
after
yes.
this one.
In 5
After
minutes.
the-
But right now we're on 249.
Okay, so we're not the greatest audio or technical experts, so we won't be putting in a professional celebration in the audio, but we'll say woohoo together.
Okay, we're going to do it 1, 2. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, then do it.
One, yeah.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
3. Woohoo! Oh, you didn't do it.
Oh, 250, that's gone really quick. But
It's
anyway.
gone quick. Yeah. So thank you for listening. For those of you that have been on the journey all the way, thank you. Especially those early episodes, which are probably rougher, and they might still be rough now, but they're as good as we can do, and they're not bad. So to practice, it was actually Reutemann who was quickly on the pace.
Of course, it was a new driver again. This again, like a new driver up at the top, and it's a championship decider. Reutemann, get out the way, mate.
Yeah. Again, the target was Peterson's 73 pole time. And as practice progressed to the second day, Andretti caused quite a stir by being the fastest in his new Parnelli. So there you want even more mix up? There you go, Rosa.
There you go, yes. Andretti qualified 16th and he finished 7th. So not great, but, here he is, a contender for future, probably.
Yeah. But it was not to be because Reutemann pushed hard to take pole, and with Hunt marginally behind, there's someone out of the blue. These two were the only drivers to break the 1 minute 39 second barrier.
So Andretti had to settle for third place as his car had some repair issues, and by the time the repairs were completed, qualifying was nearly over. So still a great result from him.
Yeah. So we have Pache in the Brabham 4th, Lauda 5th, and Scheckter in 6th. He's the first championship contender.
Yes, exactly. Interesting. Then we have Watson 7th and the second championship contender, Fittipaldi, in 8th. And Regazzoni, the guy who has been leading the championship most of the season, he's in 9th.
Isn't this crazy that the championship contenders are 6th, 8th and 9th? So not only are they pretty much together, but none of them are at the front. So
yeah. So the race, the more interesting part of the race is going to be in the midfield.
And they're putting themselves at risk because this is where things happen around them and they could be taken out.
Yes. All right. So at race start, there was some drama as Andretti had some car issues during warm-up that weren't properly resolved. As a result, he was disqualified for obtaining assistance from the mechanics outside the pit area.
Poor Andretti and Parnelli. They get a great result and this happens.
Yeah, and then disqualified. Wow.
So to the race start itself, Reutemann actually beat Hunt to the first corner, with both drivers quickly and visibly pulling away from the rest of the field, with Pache sliding into third ahead of the rest.
I have been distracted a little bit by the championship battle, but big congratulations to Hunt for getting second on the grid. So I'll give a little bit more detail of the view of the driver rankings. Tucked in behind Pache was Lauda in 4th, Scheckter in 5th, and Fittipaldi in 6th.
And Regazzoni, our championship contender?
Yeah, he'd completed the opening lap in seventh, was finding the handling of his Ferrari so unpredictable that he was quickly dropping back and he was overtaken by Watson and Mazzario on consecutive laps.
That is not very good. That's the
No.
championship slipping through his fingers. So all Fittipaldi has to do is keep going and not let Scheckter get too far away.
Yeah. Some background on Regazzoni. Not sure if it plays a part. There was testing after the Canadian Grand Prix at the racetrack after the event, and Regazzoni, in the car that he drove to second place there, had a nasty crash which damaged his car. While Regazzoni got a bruised leg, like nothing serious. So a replacement Ferrari was flown out from Maranello.
Oh wow, this must play a big part because
I think so.
yeah, he had to practice. His practice time he had to settle in the car, but he didn't do it. Obviously, yeah.
That's right.
So I think that's quite material. So to the
Yes.
race by lap 10, Reutemann and Hunt were still super close and already 8 seconds clear of Pache in third, and Pache himself comfortably clear of a snake of cars led by Lauda, Scheckter, Fittipaldi, Watson, and Mazzario. So you got Scheckter and Fittipaldi right next to each other.
He's just sitting on Schecter's car, isn't he? And focusing on it.
Yeah, why not? It's a smart thing to do, right? And it turns out that Lauda was waiting for his teammate to catch up. So he was holding them up. You know what I mean? That's not nice, isn't it? But as this was
No.
looking very unlikely, the pit crew gave Lauda the push signal, so he started to pull away from Scheckter.
Regazzoni, in the meantime, lost 2 more places to Muss and Peterson. So on lap 15, he pitted for new tyres in the hope that it would help, but it didn't.
It's like a slow train wreck. This is so bad, so disappointing.
is.
Poor
Very
Regazzoni,
disappointing.
all year his car's been competitive and suddenly he's nowhere, you know?
Well, he was back in to have his front suspension adjusted, and this put him out of contention as he was 2 laps behind the leaders.
Let's see if Scheckter and Fittipaldi can give us some interest, right?
But it means it's not a Ferrari driver winning the championship.
Not looking like it so far.
No, unless
Some more-
those two take each other out.
Yeah, and he gets 1 point or something. So some more bad news. As Austrian driver Koenig apparently suffered suspension failure and came into contact with a faultily installed guardrail, which killed him instantly.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Once the news of this accident reached the Surtees team, they immediately withdrew their other driver as a mark of respect.
So Koenig entered 3 races with his debut at the Austrian Grand Prix. The speed at which he crashed was relatively low and he ought to have escaped the accident uninjured. But as is the case with a lot of the circuits at this time, the Armco was insecurely installed and the bottom portion of it buckled as the vehicle struck it. The car passed underneath the top portion, which remained intact, and this caused significant trauma to the driver and killed him instantly.
So we're sorry to hear this, and we remember Helmut for the sacrifice he made for the sport. Of course, the race didn't stop, which was the way, which is terrible. So to the race at the 30-lap mark, and this is a 59-lap race, the first 3 remained as Reutemann, Hunt and Pache. But Hunt was starting to struggle to keep up with Reutemann, and he was slowly falling back to Pache.
At the same time as this was happening, Lauda was starting to suffer from some severe handling issues, similar to what happened to Regazzoni, and he fell back behind the others, with Scheckter still 1 position ahead of Fittipaldi.
Fittipaldi really holding firm here, and is seemingly staying out of trouble. Lauda was soon to retire, but Hunt was now facing his own problems as his car was suffering from a fuel system issue, and Pache was catching him.
Ferrari, what is going on with your car? Seriously.
Yeah,
They have
what
dropped
a
the ball.
year. What a year with this car. Hot and cold, and retirements galore. The championship then took a major turn when on lap 45, Scheckter went missing with a dead engine due to a broken fuel pipe. This virtually ensured Fittipaldi the championship.
Yeah, but what a flat way to win it though, after such an awesome season and lead up to the race. I think most drivers want to win it, like driving, not because of retirements.
But I think a driver would take a boring win as well. They don't
Do you
mind.
reckon?
Less stress. Of course, it's fun to have a
Okay.
dynamic, exciting race. But
Yeah, maybe the crowd wants
I'm sure Fittipaldi was happy to see Schecter's car on the side and was like, phew,
Yeah, you're
you
probably
know.
right. Yeah.
So at the front, Pache finally passed Hill to make it a Brabham 1-2, with Reutemann winning the race by 10 seconds from his teammate.
Wow.
So Hunt meanwhile spluttered over the line to claim third, finishing about 60 seconds behind Pache, with new double world champion Fittipaldi finishing in fourth.
So just a quick comment because I do need to we have been following Holmes' career very closely. This was actually his last Formula One race. He
Yes.
did a great job to win at the start of the season. But as you said, Louis, Fittipaldi probably had him covered throughout the whole year. He had some good finishes, but yeah, he retired after this race. So to the standings then, we got Fittipaldi winner again, double world champion on 55, Regazzoni 52. What could have
Yeah.
been, Louis? What could have been?
So many retirements. And this championship, really, to be honest, I'm curious to see what the TP shows, but I would call this a Lauda championship. And he came fourth.
Yeah.
Let's see if
Scheckter was
let's see if
third and
TP
Lauda
let's see.
fourth.
Yeah, let's see if TP does it. I don't know, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know.
Lauda should have won it, and then Regazzoni should have won it next in
Should
my
have won.
mind.
I would say it's more of Regazzoni championship than Lauda, but I don't know.
But look at all the retirements they had, though. Both of them.
Yeah, I know. And in the constructors, McLaren takes it out on 73, Ferrari second on 65, Tyrrell third on 52. That's a good result.
Yeah. And would you say that championship fizzled out a little bit at the very end, that last
Absolutely.
race?
Yes.
Regazzoni was never even in the running.
No. Yeah, so
I
just
wonder if
on a-
Lauda should have helped him set up the car, but I don't know.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So we'll do a
Okay.
little wrap up then.
Yeah, let's wrap up.
I mean, it was an exciting season at the beginning of the year, and it ended in like the possibility of like 3 people being able to win the championship at the end. But like you say, it did fizzle out to like a nothing race there, with all the championship contenders like in the middle of the field and car problems plaguing their race. Frustrating that Ferrari were just not very reliable. Lauda struggled compared to his teammate Regazzoni, but I'm looking forward to them fixing up those problems for 75. It's interesting. Like you say, at the beginning of the year, there was a time where they could have made some team call changes and had Regazzoni finishing before Lauda, but I think it was too early.
It was. And Lauda was in the running right up to the second to last race. So it's not like Lauda was out of the running. He was out at the very end. And Lauda was, I disagree with you on one. I do think Lauda was faster than Regazzoni. He just got hit with more retirements.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I found 74 to be a frustrating year because Ferrari were the team of 74 and their retirements were just ridiculous. That 72 Eve, the Lotus, was such a good car that even though they tried to launch a new car and were no doubt distracted by it, Peterson still had a mathematical chance of the championship with 2 races to go with a car that was 2 years old. So that's pretty impressive. And how Peterson dominated X. I didn't expect that. I thought X was still at the peak of his powers, but his reputation took a beating, I would say, having been beaten by Peterson. And the same with how Fittipaldi dominated Holm in the McLaren, but I think it was sort of like Holm's farewell season in the end. Just such a topsy-turvy, interesting season. So other than the disappointing finale, the mere fact it got to that was really exciting. So that's exciting. And well done us and Formula One to make 250 races.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just had a quick look, Louis. I think you're right. I think like Lauda had 8 retirements in 15 races, and Regazzoni had 3 retirements in 15 races. And Lauda retired
from the lead most of the
those
time.
Retirements, he got pole. Exactly. So I think you're right. I think Lauda it should have been a Lauda championship.
Let's see if TP does it. And we're at high risk because the very next episode is our TP episodes, and it's with sister. And expect the unexpected is all I can say.
Yes. Well, here's to the next 250 races for the the F1 time portal.
Yes.
Yeah. So see you next time for the TP episode.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.